there. Do you want to say hi? Say hi. Oh, okay. Hey there, this is Melanie. I read a book. I did it. I'm done for the year. I can just relax now. The book I read from my list was Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon. I haven't really been doing reviews on this channel. Like, I can't really rate this book for you. I think it's a super interesting, intellectual, diverse read, perspectives that I don't have in my regular life or that I'm just not used to, which I really liked. But to give you some idea of what the book's about, it is a story of a character named Aster who lives on a lower deck level of this giant spaceship that is trying to find its way to the promised land. The story is set in space, but with some heavy themes from the past, where the structure societally and culturally is based off of the antebellum South. So this main character, Aster, is subject to heavy discrimination, abuse, as are many of the characters, most of the people at the lower levels. Absolute tyranny ruled by white men who believe they are second to God. Obvious themes there, very intentional and impactful. Something I liked about that is you're reading about this, you know, the story. It's a sci-fi, I wouldn't say adventure, but it is a science fiction story with some events taking place that aren't unfamiliar. But because it is in a futuristic setting where technology is more advanced, where we can kind of perceive that life better than we can, I think, lives of the past. I know I have a hard time when I read stories of the past, tragic events, of being blind by my own experience and my own privilege and my own just modern day life, you know. This story is a futuristic story, kind of takes away the excuse of, oh, that was just how things were back then. So, it sucked, it was really bad. Let's picture that in a futuristic space setting. Throughout the course of the story, Aster is trying to discover what happened to her mother, and some notes her mother left behind, kind of exploring that. Oh my gosh. Stop. Stop. It's gonna be weird in the background if you're just whining. Do you want to come here? Can I come in? He likes to chase garbage, so that should work for now. So the ghost of her past, her mother, events that are taking place with the current authority build into this tension, into this conflict, and throughout the story you're seeing a lot of interesting characters and observing Aster, who is different, struggles with regular connection with people, but makes connections and loves people nonetheless, even though she is different, even though she has a hard time communicating. I think she spoke her first words when she was 8. Very interesting character. And something this story did, it in a way addressed something that I had been kind of feeling when I was thinking about what to talk about in this video. I haven't made a ton of videos, but when I was watching my last video and editing it, it was such a long video and I was talking for so long that I could just feel this weirdness, that I was looking at an entirely different person. I don't mind the way my voice sounds on video. I don't mind how I look, but I know if other people see me, they don't see me, you know? They don't know who I am. And even if I try to present who I am, it might not get through to them, which is difficult to think about, that I might not, you know, be as understood as I want to be. But then I've been sitting with people I love, thinking about the people I love and how they make me feel seen, even when they don't truly get it. And I thought, you know, and I was like, okay, I can appreciate that. You know, I am loved. I am supported by people, even if they don't totally get it, even if they don't see me as I see myself, because I don't hate myself. But it is frustrating when you feel misunderstood, and not just because you're going through something, but because there's stuff about you and the thoughts in your head and the way you see like your inner self that's just so different from your outer self. People call me sweet all the time because I'm quiet, and I get that, you know? I have a hard time making a fast friend, and so I might come off as sweet and quiet because I am at first, because it takes me a long time to get anywhere else with a person. Aster has this, you know, experience where people think she's a freak. They think she means something hurtfully, and she might not, or doesn't care, because she's just being honest or direct or Aster. She's just being herself. Something that the author does at the beginning of each part, they would write from the perspective of a different character. At first I thought the second part was just an entirely different character, but it's just that first chapter in each part of the book. You get to see these perspectives, and ultimately they're about the main character. They're observing Aster. And the first alternate perspective was from Theo, who cares deeply about Aster, and always has, it seems. And you see her in a whole new light. Aster is an entirely different person. So, like, beautiful and thoughtful and different, but the way she exists is like poetry for this character. The way the author, and I thought they were so, like, it was so cool that they did this, observes the way that the author writes Theo observing Aster is like, that's not Aster, but you feel like it is her to Theo. Theo sees Aster that way, and it becomes part of who she is for us, you know? Most of the perspective is third person, but from Aster's perspective, she thinks critically and logically, sometimes almost too literally, like to the point of not understanding other people, or if she does understand them, she really doesn't care for the way that they express things or handle things. She studies medicine and the body, and her perspective on things is so, like, scientific all the time. She loves words even though she has a hard time speaking them. What a fantastic character. And learning about her from the characters who love her so much enhanced how we see the characters, how they see other people that they care about, and how she is seen by other people helps us understand her better. And not that how people see you defines you. You know, again, people think I'm sweet, and I'm not going to say that's not true, but that's not who I am. I wouldn't define myself that way. A lot of these characters are in the midst of complex thoughts about their gender and how they present to other people. It's just so interesting how much of what we present does to what other people think about us, and how what other people think about us can greatly affect us. By consequence, people who talk about us can create an entirely different perspective to the people who are listening. And in a way, I found this really validating as a person, because I really want to be understood, and I might not be, but the people who love me and see what they love about me. And as long as I'm being as honest as I can and as real as I can, the things that I do for them are true and real. There's something someone might love about me, and I might not think of it as a lovable character trait, but it's a character trait, you know, it's me. As long as I'm not pretending to be anyone else around them, then that's me for them. And if I make them feel loved by being that way, then that's who I want to be, you know? How this helped me as a writer was similar. If you want your reader to understand the character you're writing just a little differently, add a facet of another person's point of view, of how someone else sees them. Even just a page of a different character's point of view can provide so much for that character. It is kind of strange how much of a difference that can make. But if you read characters who maybe they don't like themselves or care about themselves, but then you read another POV and that person just can't believe that they exist, they love them so much, that's a real thing. And it makes your story real, and I think helps us in life. Like I said, for me personally, no one watching this video will truly see me, and that's okay. Because if I impacted you in a positive way, I'm trying my best, I'm being as real as I can, I did my job. And so when you're writing, when you're existing, just know that other people might see you or your characters differently. And based on their own experiences with those characters, with those types of people, things can be so different and interesting. Because it's not always about gender, it's not always about what we look like, what we wear, but how we think can feel so lonely. And I think that this book kind of explores that. Not to mention, characters are boss. These women, these people, are tough, and like, not tough, but like skilled. They're not just like, I'm tough, you can't hurt me. They are hurt all the time. You can hurt them. They are real fragile people, but they don't give up and they do things by their own terms, and it's admirable. I really liked this book. It was very intellectual, caused a lot of thoughts about myself. I loved the writing. The author, I think, did a fantastic job. This book left me wanting to explore this world, hoping the best for these characters, feeling like I understand a little bit better why people fight as hard and brutally as they do, because they have to be who they are, to live, to exist. Anyway, An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. Totally give it a read. These are some of the things I learned. It's kind of a messy video, but thanks for watching.